after I Know What You Did Last Summer was received with mostly positive reviews, a sequel was planned out not too long after. As a matter of fact, it only took 1 year for them to pump out another sequel. I Know What You Did 2 summers ago. That's not actually what it's called, no. Today we're going to be looking at I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. So, let's get spooky. Greetings everyone, my name is Nightshade, this is The Night Shift, a home for all things spooky, and today we're going to be looking at I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, released in 1998. Now, back in the day, whenever this was released to VHS, I was a little too young to go see this in the theater. I remember waiting in anticipation to check this movie out. I enjoyed the first one so much, and whenever this one came out, I was super stoked to check it out. And as a kid, I actually preferred this one over the original. I had a lot more fun with this one back in the day. Does that still hold true? Well, we're gonna talk about that here in a second. But before we get into the review, I just gotta apologize in advance. Last Friday, whenever I got done editing and uploading the I Know What You Did Last Summer review, there was a lot of copyright claims all over it, and I had to take a bunch of clips out. I'm just gonna go ahead and assume the case is going to be the same with this film, so I do apologize in advance if there's not a whole lot of clips from the movie. My hands are tied. It is very unfortunate, but I'm going to try to do my best with what I got, you know what I mean? So let's stop the yapping and go ahead and get into the review. For this film, I'm going to be breaking it down into two categories, the positives and the negatives. Let you know what I liked about this film and what I didn't like about this film. Then when we're done with that, I'm going to talk about my favorite scene in this film and tell you exactly why it is my favorite scene. Then we're going to score this out of a possible 10 points and end the video. But here on The Night Shift, we always start things off on the bright side with... So the kills in this film are done substantially better than they were in the first film. The body count is higher and the kills are much more elaborate. More blood, more gore.
Carnage, candy. Your core audience just expects it.
Now these aren't Terrifier levels of gore, if I'm going to be honest. They're actually relatively mild throughout, but they're bloodier than they were in the previous film. You know, this is more akin to like a Scream film levels of gore. Like, you know, it's not ultra violent, but it gets the job done. You get some more kills as well as more blood, more gore, and you know, I'm always a fan of that. And since the kills are substantially better in my opinion, that had to make it here on the positives list. So, moving right along into my next positive, we have... So, Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. return as their respective characters in this film. We get a pretty solid cast of people in this one as well as we did in the last film. We get Brandy in this film. And of course, we got Mr. Jables himself, Jack Black. We get a pretty solid cast of characters in this one. It's about the same level as the previous film. Both films got good casting, and for that, I had to throw it here on the positives list. And speaking of the positives list, that's it. That's all I've got for positives on this film. You know, I was kind of surprised that those are the only things that I really liked about this movie. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the not so bright side of things with... So as much as I liked the majority of the story in the previous film, this one feels more contrived. Like the story in this one asks a lot from the audience. Like you have to suspend the absolute fuck out of your disbelief to buy into this story. And I can suspend my disbelief a pretty decent amount, but then like rewatching this one, it was kind of a lot, especially towards the end there whenever the big reveal happens, and more on that here in a minute. But yeah, the story in this one just doesn't do it for me. So Julie and her roommate win tickets to go to a resort, a little vacation getaway. And Ray, who's Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character, he can't come because reasons. And whenever they get to this remote island where the resort is, the fisherman shows up doing his fisherman shenanigans, and people die. People die, and yeah, they die. And there's a subplot of Ray trying to get to this island and just going through hell to get there, and he's pretty much sidelined throughout. Sidelined until it is important for him to make his arrival, make no mistake. Yeah, it doesn't do it for me. It's just, especially whenever you know how this whole thing came to be, how this whole thing was set up, which will be talked about in the next negative. But yeah, just the story, it feels very contrived, and this movie came out a year later, like a year after the first one, so it feels like the story was rushed and not really fully thought out. Like the idea of the story is cool. I just think they needed a little bit more time to flesh it out and do more with it, because yeah, it doesn't really do much for me. And I don't need a whole lot of story, but the fact that they win tickets to go to this resort on a remote island, and the fact that was set up by the killers, it's just it's much. It's a little much, and I'm not a fan. I think it's a little too elaborate for a revenge murder thing. We'll get to that here in a second. So yeah, I didn't really find the story that good, and the story to me is the most important part of a movie. Kills and good graphics, good visuals, all of that falls by the wayside if the story is trash. Everything is there to serve the purpose of the story, and if you fumble the story, nothing else really matters. So that's a big negative for me. Whenever I was a kid, I loved the story, and I loved this film. Like I said, I thought it was better than the original, and I'm taking it back. I don't believe that anymore. I don't think that this one is a step up. It's a step up in ways of kills, but as far as story and storytelling, no, it's definitely a downgrade. And so I mean, it is what it is. So the story had to go on the negatives for me. Moving right along into my final negative, we have... Let's hope my ADD plays ball today, because last week's video, you should see the ramble that I was going on, and just not making much sense. It made sense in my brain, but it wasn't making sense on camera. I was rambling, and yeah, sorry about that. Oh, the killer reveal in this one is just much. It's a lot, and it's dumb. So the original killer survived from the last film, and he's back. He's here, and he's fucking killing people. If that was the only talking point about this little segment here, we wouldn't be talking. That would have been perfectly fine. Will Benson. Will Benson is the big mastermind behind this whole film. He faked the radio DJ call thing, and bought these guys tickets to this remote island. He's also weaseled his way into this little friend group here. So it was miraculous that Ray didn't want to come, because he was then asked to join these people on their little vacation, which would have only worked if Ray said no to going, and that's a big risk to take. That's a 50-50 chance that if I had this grand master plan, I wouldn't chance it. And it turns out that Will Benson is the original killer's son. Ben's son. Will Benson, Ben's son. Get it? Haha, smart, clever.
Come on, Jules, think about it. You'll get it. Will Benson. Ben's son. Hi, Dad.
Not fucking clever at all. Very, very forced, very contrived, very dumb. So fucking dumb. I didn't have a problem with it whenever I was a stupid little kid. That made sense to me back in the day. But now, as an adult, fucking dumb. That is so fucking dope. Now, had it just been the original killer finding out that they're on this remote island and him following in his boat and killing people that way, it would have been lazy writing for sure, but like it's better than bad writing, because make no mistake, this is bad writing. And watching this, I remember that he was a bad guy and he played a huge part in this, but I completely forgot that they did the whole Ben's son, you stupid fuck. The clues were all there for you the whole time. What? Well, you can't, no, you don't fucking know, you stupid motherfucker. Yeah, that whole thing is stupid, and they tried so hard to be clever, and that's I think that annoys me the most about this, is they tried to do something clever. They tried to be like, oh, but it fucking flopped on its face, and I could have forgiven a lot more if it wasn't for the killer reveal in this, because holy shit. And now that all that's out of the way, let's go ahead and move on to the next segment, which is So my favorite scene in this is Titus's death. Jack Black's character Titus, his death scene, and the only reason that is my favorite scene is simply because it made me laugh.
Can I help you? God damn it!
I'm sure this scene is, supposed to be kind of scary and just like, oh no, but like the fact that it's Jack Black and he's pleading with the fisherman to be like, don't do that, man, don't do that.
What are you doing? No, seriously, don't do that.
I'm not entirely sure that this was meant to be as funny as it was, but to me, fucking hilarious. So yeah, that's why it ended up being my favorite scene in the film. Let's go ahead and wrap things up and score this movie. Whenever it comes to I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, I'm giving it a solid 4 out of 10. You know, for something that I used to enjoy a lot, this ain't it, Chief. However, one positive I will give this is that it's better than I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, because we'll be talking about that abomination on Friday, but as of right now, yeah, 4 out of 10 for this film, because the story lacks anything and the killer reveal is dumb. Like, we get good kills and a good cast, but good kills and a good cast doesn't make a good movie. So that is just about going to do it for me. If you like the video, let me know by leaving me a like. Comment down below what you want to see on the channel next. I will do my best to accommodate, I really will. And until next time, my name is Nightshade. This has been The Night Shift, and I will see you in the next video. Stay spooky, my friends.